and installed the first electric gate in, yeah, I would say October 2012, something like this. And same process. Some stuff was really good, some stuff was really bad. The gate was working good, but when you had a lot of rider on the gate was not dropping perfectly. So we had to. At that time, me, I was starting to be 18, 19 years old. So I really was able to have a little bit more time. And, I was older, so I can help him also. But most, I would say 80% of the original electric gates, it's from him.
BMX Breakthrough is bridging the gap from old school to new school, from tracks to manufacturers, from new riders to their local tracks, and it doesn't stop at racing, but the mission is to connect people with bikes. Join me, Jay Oaks, as I interview key people in the sport and in the industry that are involved in their local circles, in their communities, at their local tracks, and aiming to make a difference on a local level. You'll hear stories, marketing tips, failures, successes, and a way to make a difference in your local BMX community. Let's dive in as we kick off this next episode. It is so exciting to be able to have you on the show, be able to talk to you, and I want people to get to know a little bit more of who you are and the story. I've gotten to see a little bit behind the curtain, behind in the background of what goes on at ProStart and some of the, I'll call it the heart behind the brand that you've created. But why don't we start out by you introducing yourself? Go ahead and give us a little background of who you are and maybe how you got into BMX as well.
Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for inviting me at the show. So my name is Quentin Grun. I am 31 years old. I am French, and today I live in USA since a bit more than 1 year now. I started BMX racing in 1999, so I would say it's been now 23 years old. And I start, as every people, just with a too big bike and a helmet who I think doesn't fit my head. But my family was really interested about BMX, and we quickly, with my sister, we start to do BMX with me too. And my mom, who just have a little bit of free time and was looking to help my local track, which is near Paris. We are the close. It used to be, and it's still the closest track from Paris downtown. We are like 10 miles from the Eiffel Tower, kind of. So we just my mom just become a quickly track president after like maybe 3 years. And my dad also, who is engineer, just want to help, and so he did some stuff for my local track, and yeah, that's how we started over 23 years ago. And today I would say only me now just continue to push BMX racing. My sister, who had a BMX professional career during few years, until maybe when she was until 22 years old. But after 4 years trying to do all the World Cup and stuff, she decided to step down. And my mom, as we all moved, it was a good thing of when you help your local track. It's because your kid is here, or kid is around, and you want the good for your kid, but also you are part of this atmosphere and part of a collective group. And because we all left to different place, she found another place, and she did that 10 years. So it was also good time to to have a new member and new board and new staff. But yeah, this is about a quick resume of before. And me, I own ProStart since 2013. So it's been a little bit more than 10 years now. And yeah, it's been amazing 10 years, starting from the garage of my parents, just a very small garage of, I don't know, maybe the roof was here, very just 3 inches above my face, above my head. But and now we have one office in France and one office in USA, and we are still growing, so it's great.
That's really cool. Okay, so I mean, you touched on a couple of things that even I didn't know. I didn't know the involvement of your family entirely in the sport of BMX, but obviously it was a big thing within your family. Both your mom and your dad were involved. Your sister was involved, and she had her racing career, which is really cool. You and I got connected at Grands in 22. Um, would have been, and that's where we met, and we started having a conversation, and you had just recently brought ProStart over to Colorado to build the North American market. So we ended up starting the conversation there. We got to talk quite a bit, and I think it's been really fun getting to know you and hearing the story behind the gate, because there are companies that exist that have a product for the sake of having a product, for the sake of having something to sell. And the more that my wife and I have gotten to spend time with you and gotten to know you, the more that we found that you have a desire to help the sport grow and help local tracks grow. And you've created this gate that helps to facilitate increasing rider count at tracks and things. So will you talk a little bit, I guess, start with the backstory of where the safety gate came from? Where did that whole conversation, obviously you and your dad were a part of co-founding ProStart together. So a little bit of the backstory and where that whole idea started, originated, and then to where it is now.
Yes, so yeah, as I told you, we start just in 2000. So in 2000, it was mostly magnet gates. We start to see few gates where, flat gate with a pneumatic ram. We start to see that. So it was a beginning. Some track have only magnets. Some track have the ram. Some track have no random box. It was just a very loud sequence word, and we press the button. And I think that was in France or USA is the same, or everywhere in the world. And so when I started, my father just said that he was like, I can just at least install a RAM, because it's what he installed RAM in his business. And so he just say it's something I can do. I know. So he just make a RAM. But after like maybe 1 year, so that was between 2001 and 2002, it was just that it was just like, this is really, I don't know, low quality stuff. We can really do something much better. And it at that time, around 2000, end of 2002, early 2003, he just said, why we don't have a quarter barrel design, because he never saw that before, and he was just like, this is for sure the only way, or the best way to protect people of any injury, or bike accident, just to be pinched by the gate. And so he just said, I think I can try to make that, and no one did that before. And that was in 2000. He made really the first one in my home track in 2004. So that will be soon 20 years ago. And of course the first one was really bad. It was way too heavy. The gate was bouncing. It was clearly really, it was not really the best, but at least it was the first. And he just started to believe in this, just in this product. And out of his business, who he used to have 10 employees, and he was just doing his business. He had a little bit of spare time, and all his spare time he was using it to just to build more gates. And French cycling in 2007, they put rules that in 2009 all tracks in France need to it was mandatory to have a safety gate, a quarter barrel gate. So that was in 2007, and to start mandatory in 2009. So when my dad will start to do few gates around 2005, 2006, then all track in France need to have a gate. So at that time, another guy in France also built a company so it was like two company who make gates, but it was so many tracks to do in just 3 years. It was great to be minimum 2 person. So most of tracks change their gate. I don't know, maybe 100 tracks or 150 tracks get safety gate in just 3 years. So it has been a very, very busy period. A lot of track also try to make homemade gate because it was cheaper, and they just it's like we can see in America. We can still see people who do homemade gates. So we see that until 2009. And after it start to be less, I would say, less urgent, and now it take time more to, I would say, to touch all the tracks and mostly repair all the bad stuff we do, but also all the other do at the beginning, because I would say, for me to make a nice product, when you need minimum 2-3 years before really achieving a quality product. Before that, it's I think you can't. It's very too much complexity between the weight of the gate, the RAM techniques, all the electronics, to really have something stable, long-term reliability. For me, it takes 3 years, and that's why the beginning was not easy, I would say, but I think like everything, and yeah, that's a little bit of the past story, but this was before I take care of that, and I was young. I was just between 12 and 16 years old, so just every holiday in France, we have a lot of holidays. We have 6 weeks school, 2 weeks off, 6 weeks school, 2 weeks off. So, but we have much shorter summer break to compensate. And so every 2 weeks off, I was always with my dad or his employee to install gates in France mostly. And I was like between 14 and 18 years old, kind of.
Oh, wow. That's really cool. So when you guys started, I guess when your dad came out with his first iteration of the safety gate, there were other safety gates that were already on the market?
No, it was when he installed, in France, my father was not, I don't know, was not a guy to make BMX gate, because if he saw that it was a great opportunity for him to grow his business, or he was just like, hey, this is if I can help, I'm happy to help. I run life okay. I'm not millionaire, but I have good life. I have work, but I'm happy to help the sport because I think it's a good sport. And I don't know his reason why he was thinking that, but just for maybe for us also, because we was really involved in BMX and we was training a lot. But and maybe I think he was like, I think I can help. So anyway, just he talked with France is small, it's we have a good amount of track, but it's just the size of, let's say, 1 or 2 states in USA. So it's very easy to be in contact with people, and any national, we are all here. It's not like there is a national in New York and another in California, and it's too far. For us, the max distance is maybe for some people 10 hours drive, but if you live in the middle, it's never more than 6 hours drive everywhere. So anyway, just in 2004, when we start to do national competition, my dad just talked with other guys, and this other guy was working at the French cycling. So they just, I would say, he didn't really do the first, or maybe the first. It was they both say, okay, let's do this, and maybe my father installs the second one, or But it was really the beginning, and it was a common idea between my dad and this other guy who had a business to sell gates, and also was working for the French cycling. He was like kind of the vice president. So it helped when you are gate builder, vice president, and you put the rules that for 2007 every people need to have a gate. It was a great way for him to make sure his business will run well. But the main reason was the insurance stuff. And in France, all insurance for the French cycling say we have too much injury with gates. We don't want to, if we want to, you want to continue that we insure all the riders, you need safety gate. And that was the main reason why they moved to safety gate.
Okay, which makes sense because I remember the gate that we had when I was 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, and it was at our local track before it got torn down. And that gate, I remember the starting slab being almost completely flat. The gate would sit up about vertical, so there was no pitch to it, and it was just this massive, heavy gate. And I remember the the guy that would stand there every single time that we raced, and he was so helpful. And every single time we would race, he would put the post into the gate and he would pick it up, and it was big and heavy and bulky. And I mean, I never saw anybody get stuck underneath it. But the first time that I was introduced to the safety gate was, I've told other people that I took 20 years away from racing BMX. And when I came back, the first safety gate that I saw was yours. And that would have been in end of June 22 at Bozeman, Montana, at
Yeah,
Gallatin Valley. And you had just finished installing it. Like, I think you were there a month prior or something.
yeah, exactly. Middle of May. Yes. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it had been literally right then that you had installed it. And I saw this gate and it was quiet. It was so fast. It was beautifully designed. I had no idea who you were. And then it was really cool to get to meet you a few months later and then, start the conversation and finding out more about it. But to know that your dad was kind of a part of that founders group, and like we've talked about, you guys both being being founders of ProStart together and working hand in hand on some of the projects. But to know that he was at the forefront of the safety gate movement is really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I think he had a good idea, and yeah, it just when he had an idea, he will always go to the end. He was like that. He had like, I think I can do that, and even if sometimes it was difficult. Same with what we do today as the electric gate. Um, After you install a lot of safety gate pneumatic, you when you do a lot of this job, you understand the limit of the pneumatic, because you have a lot of people calling you because the gate is dropping not perfectly, the gate is bouncing, because there is leaks, because the pressure is different, and a lot of things related to pneumatic. And my dad was just like, we can do better. And so it just was the same process. We do a lot of production line with electric motor, so why we don't do this with BMX gate? And so we work with famous motor company, and he sold the product before he even made the product, because it was like that, and people was like, oh, this is so cool, we order. And he was like, okay, but I have no idea when I'm gonna install it. but but it was mostly, it was a French cycling who for the one of our training camp, I would say. I don't know to say exactly, but where because in France we have we used I would say we used to have free place to train. We have the kind of the U17, under 16 years old, kind of. who was in one place, another place who was kind of between 17 and 21 years old, and another place who was for the older guys. And anyway, just one order without without the products made. And anyway, just believe in the product, and that was in 2012, and installed the first electric gate in, yeah, I would say October 2012, something like this. And same process. Some stuff was really good, some stuff was really bad. The gate was working good, but when you had a lot of rider on the gate was not dropping perfectly. So we had to. At that time, I was starting to be 18, 19 years old. So I really was able to have a little bit more time. And, I was older, so I can help him also. But I would say 80% of the original electric gates, it's from him. And me, when we had a lot of issue at the beginning, I was like, it's not worth it. It's too complicated. It's too, it requires so much high level of electrical automation levels that I was like, I don't think it's a good solution. And he was like, no, it's a solution, trust me. And he just continued to do that. And today I just want to thank him, because today I'm convinced 100% it's clearly the best we can get today on BMX gate. Is all the problem of pneumatic is totally solved. It's like the gate will drop perfectly no matter what. We can have mechanical issue, we can have concrete issues that will, of course, can change the quality of the drop. But about, if we just talk motor, electric ram, and what we say with the computer to say up and down, it's perfect every time. And this is something from first day to 10 years after. And it's something with pneumatic you will never be able to reach this level. It's impossible.
Fascinating. I've noticed the level of consistency with electric gates that I've been at, and then you've talked about the differences of pneumatic, and it is true, because everything affects and changes things differently. I mean, car tire pressure will change from if you fill them when they're cold, and there'll be a different pressure once it's hot out. So depending on the temperature, depending on the air compressor, I mean, you can set the pressure, but sometimes they vary. And so it is interesting, the idea of having the same consistency because you're going electric. And I know that there are still a few tracks that have been talking about moving to a new gate, and there's almost a safety and a security in going with the pneumatic because it's been around. They feel like it's been around a little bit longer. It's a little bit more trusted, but as you've continued to test and really field test, put them out on tracks and being able to test the electric gates, is that you just don't have the issues that people tend to have with pneumatic.
Yeah, clearly we at the beginning of electric gate, we had issue just because we learned simply. But I would say since 2020, maybe 2021 at the latest, no, every electric gate we installed, we are like really very confident about the product we delivered. And it's, as I said, it's extremely reliable. I never had a track call me because, I don't know, they can't run the event anymore. I would say in the last 3 years, it's something we never experienced. And it's also it's very robust. We don't have any parts who will fail for no reason. Like a pneumatic gate, we have a sensitive part called the solenoid valve. So it's a piece who makes the transition between the electrical signal and the motion of the gate. So the air on this way or this way. And this part is very sensitive, and this is the problem on our gates, but it's a problem with any gates. And and it's something we will have the problem every time. And if you go in a video gag, I don't know, you say in USA, the video where people crash,
Oh,
whatever.
like a blooper reel.
Yeah, or the gates stay up and all the people fell over. It will be always a pneumatic gate, and it would be some I will not hide one or two video. It's with all gates, and but other video will be another brand or a homemade gate or whatever, because it's sensitive. And an electric gate, it will always drop. And this is something I think as a rider it's great to fully trust. And me also, when I do big events and it's my gate, when it's a final elite man, European final, or big event, even if right now we can't have a product for Olympic kind of Olympic World Cup level, but we still have our products for big events still. And I'm much more stressed when it's a pneumatic gate than an electric, just because I know the electric will always drop. So I know we will not have this big drama of all the rider, sticking on the gate, and the gates still stay up, and with the electric, I know I can trust, and I'm sure this will never happen.
That's cool. It's nice to have that trust and that faith in what it is that it's going to do what it's supposed to do. And you also commented on your gates being built out of robust materials, and I want to talk about that as well, because you have personal starting gates. So you have the original, you have the max, and then you've got your pneumatic and your electric full size starting gates. But they're all built out of incredibly stout materials, and you've gone out of your way. And even in this last year, as we've talked to, I know that we've talked to people about buying the gates and wondering, well, is Quentin going to have sales on the personal gates? We'd like to get discounts on things. And it's been really cool talking to you, and then even relaying some of those messages and saying, no, like the way that the materials are manufactured, he has them manufactured in France. They're very high quality materials, and you're just not willing to compromise the build quality for something that could be a little bit more cost effective. And because you want to create the best product. And the personal gates, they are stout, they're rigid, they're really lightweight, but at the same time, we've talked about weight limits, and weight limits really don't exist on the personal gates because of the way that they're built and designed.
Yeah, and to say about the discount stuff, yes, there is this about handcraft. We are just people. Some people think ProStart it's like 100 worker in the world, but no, in France we are four, and in USA we are two, and we have some guys who just help part time in UK, Australia, China. But we are really small. And anyway, every product is made with let's say 12 ends. It's I know exactly who can make, and this is something I like. And the second thing, I that's why we never do discount, is just because for me I consider my job to serve the sport, and I need to live. I need to pay my employee, so we have some margin to respect. But I'm not here. I'm here to try to grow the sport, and I don't want to put. Let's say my portable gate today is $1,300. I don't want to put it like, let's put it 600, and every 2 months I will do 10% discount or 20% discount. For me, it doesn't make sense. I want any people anytime. It just like I live too far the BMX track. My gates are not good. The gate of my home track is not consistent. Is too old. Is like 28 years old. So, you know, some track is still like that.
Yeah.
And so I don't want these people are like, oh, I have to wait 2 months to see the discount because I saw they often do discounts, or they will, you know, they will pay, and 1 week after we will do a discount, and this person will be like, oh, I just buy an expensive product. You know, it's not $200, it's 1,300. So for some people, it's they save a lot of money and they will wait to buy this. So I just, for respect of these people, I just want the fair price every year, every time, all year. You know,
Yeah.
and it's important, I think.
It's just it's the same price, and like you said, you don't discount them because you believe in your product and you've created a product that is the top level of, you've tried to design something that is exactly what people want. And we set up a tent for you, a booth for you at a couple of different nationals this year, and we set up a tent at a couple of different state races. And back in September, I was actually talking to a guy. He had gotten onto the original, and then he got onto the max, and he was really excited about it. And the price just wasn't quite in the budget. And I actually just saw him like this last weekend. I ran into him at a race, and he goes, "Hey, I finally ordered my gate." And he was really excited about it. And he just realized, he just decided that what he wanted was your product. And so regardless of the price, he was just going to figure out a way to make it work, even if he had to wait an extra 3 months to get it. And he just wanted it because we were talking about weight limits, we were talking about the strength of the magnets, we were talking about the build quality, and ultimately he just wanted the best gate that he could get for him and his son to practice on.
Thank you. Yeah, we try to do our best. After there is we can always improve product. We have ID, but problem after it's the price also. We don't want to sell a single gate for $4,000. It doesn't make sense. So we we have to do with what we can, you know, and try to offer the good balance, you know, quality price, longevity price, all this free connected. And yeah, so far I will say we start the single gates 2006, maybe that was the first ever one. Same for the French cycling head coach, let's say. He said, my dad just showed him in my garage, in his garage. This is a gate. It's not ready yet, but this is what I want to do. And we will connect a different single gate together. And so it's easy to transport. And so that was 2006. So yeah, already a long time ago. And it just started that. And I will say we really start international sales when I start to handle the company, so 2013. And I think today, between 2013 and now, I don't know, but maybe around, it's hard to say, around 1.5, maybe, yeah, 1.2, 1.3 thousand single gates in the whole world.
Wow.
Mostly USA. I think today it's number one, even in front of our home country, France. As again, because in France we have more than 200 tracks, and it's the size of one or two states in USA. So every people have a safety gate because it's also mandatory, less than half-hour drive. So you know, you less need a gate if you live 4 hours away or 2 hours away, and or have a still an old gate, because there is no USA BMX don't say anything. They want a gate to work for events, but that's it. There is no really rules about gate design, gate quality, gate age. If your gate is 54 years old and have the random voice box, well, 55 years old, you need to have a different voice box. But you know what? The metal door will still be okay. But anyway, just to say, in US we have more people who buy it, but after we have, I don't know how many countries, but almost all the one who do BMX that come from developed country like all Europe, USA, Canada, but we do a lot of gates in, like, I don't know, Indonesia, Malaysia, South America, South Africa, some island who don't have really proper BMX tracks. So, and it's expensive to bring a control box and stuff. Like Jamaica, they don't have really, so they have two gates and two single gates, and at least they can practice like a real track. And I
Yeah.
think it's a great way to just put the first step in some place where it's only couple thousand dollar to have two gates connected, shipped all over the world, and it will just will be the first step of a really bad quality dirt BMX track, and then maybe thanks to that, or and the whole, it's not only this, but it will help to finally grow and have more tracks. And one thing I like to mention is this is before me, but before PROSTART, but there is an island in France called Réunion Island, and it's close to Madagascar. So really far away from France, or very, very far away from here. But this track, this island, it's maybe 40 miles width and 40 miles height, and even maybe smaller. So it's a small island. And today there is 7 full tracks, and there is 7 safety gate, and it's there is real tracks, and it's something I think it's amazing just to see this small island who just because it was a good community, even if it's small, they don't say, oh no, we already have one track here, we can't make another one here. No, just if you want to make a track and work together. And this island had so many riders. I would say the peak was maybe 10 years ago, I would say. And today we have maybe every year we have 1 or 2 French champion or European champion or sometimes world champion coming from this island, where it's the middle of nowhere, and these people just go out of their country 1 time per year, and the kid of 10 years old, they explode everyone, and it's amazing. And I don't know, it's just to say, even if there is one BMX track who have a good moto count, people just say, oh, it's good like this, or no, just try to find a way to make a second track, and you will get more people, just because if you keep the 2 tracks, the people will want to go to the 2 tracks, because we are, when we have more tracks close to us, it's amazing, it's great. And this island is for me something really, really nice. Just I like to explain that to most of people I go install gates, because just to open mind and say it's not because you live in a small area, or that you can't have several tracks.
Yeah, that's obviously a testament to the fact that you can have multiple tracks within the same area, within the same region, and they can all work together, and they can play nicely. They can reach all the same people. They can reach different people. It doesn't really matter. But they can work together. But one thing that I wanted to touch on at the end, what you were just talking about, you said that you go and install the gate at these tracks. And I think that it's really cool if you're listening to this and you have thought about having a gate installed. One thing that's really neat is that, Quentin, you go to all of the tracks and do the install, or your employees will go and
all
do.
my employees used to install sometimes too much, so my wife was not very happy that I leave in the same week one installation in Australia and directly to USA and come back in France and do the whole world. So I try to not do this anymore. And we are a little bit bigger now. So we are 1, 2, 3, 4, almost. We are soon 5 guys who can install in autonomy gates. Right now 4, but soon it will be 5. And yes, for us, it's mandatory. If you buy our safety gates, we install it, because first it's our reputation, and me, I don't want. Even if I like every people, and they can say, hey, I'm really good mechanic worker. I don't know. I don't want to. Maybe it will be great, but I don't want, and I don't want to take this risk. And so we know all our gates we install in the world, almost, because during COVID we had some limits, and when Japan is closed for more than 2 years, and you ship the gates 2 months before COVID hits, you have to find solutions. So we still have few gates who has been installed by I would say track operator or friends, but this is it's only 1% or even less. So and the second thing of that we out of only we for reputation will be also that we make sure the gate will work perfectly, properly, and will have the best lifespan we can get. Because if you install not really good the gate, because I don't know, you install yourself, it arrive with a big truck and you put the crane and you just drop it, maybe the gate will not be perfectly aligned. And if it's not perfectly aligned, it will work at the beginning, but then you will have all the barrel will have the welding will start to break, just because it's not straight and there is some external force. And at the end, after 2 or 3 years, you will be like, oh, my barrel gate is totally dead. And then you have to spend, I don't know, another $6, $10, $15,000, and you will be like, for 3 years it's not worth it. So when we install gate, we know we can have issue, we can have I don't know, leaks on a pneumatic ram, we can have a speaker broken, but all the metal structure, all the metal design, we will never have someone, except if the concrete basement is really bad. And we saw that few places where they didn't put enough concrete, or under the concrete they didn't pack the dirt. So of course the concrete start to do this or cracks, but this is it's very rare. So the most of time it will be good. And we know for 10 years, today, all the gate I install, I say 15 plus years, because I have no idea. The gate I install, we say I really start to install myself alone was 11 years ago, and they still run properly. They had to change few parts, but we never changed the barrel. The barrel is exactly the same, and that's why I say 15 plus. But maybe it's 15, maybe it's 40. I have no idea. It's and of course, it depends on the size of the track. A track will open 1 or 2 times a week, or a track will open every day. It will change, of course. Anyway, just to say, the installation is something it costs money for sure. It's but it's bring only advantage behind, and it's great also to meet people and just see the sports. It's again, I do this job for because I need to live, and I need to pay my roof and my food. But traveling and meet culture, meet the BMX is so different between USA, France, this island I talked, Australia, China. It's amazing to see. It's a same sport, but it's a totally different way to access to the tracks design, the competition organization. And it's amazing just to to be part of that. And to install gates, it's also a great way for us to understand how is the sport and have more ID and have something and make better product at the end.
I've heard a lot of compliments about gates that you've installed and people talking about, yeah, when Quentin came out here, we had a great time. We got to know him a little bit. And so that personal touch and being able to have one-on-one conversation with them, being able to install that gate. And there are always issues that can come up and arise. But one thing that I noticed was that one of our local tracks was looking into purchasing a gate, and the quotes that they got back from different gate manufacturers, it was right around the same, but some of those quotes included a gate that would show up, and you essentially have to rent a crane of some sort in order to put it in place. And yours was either the same or very, very close to the same price, but you show up and you do the install. And when we were talking about that, and when they noticed that, they said, oh, well, hands down, it's not really a question. Like we'll just go with Quentin's gate when we can do that, because then they don't have to do it. And track operators are already, the majority of them are volunteer. A lot of these tracks are run by volunteers. It's not that the volunteers don't necessarily have the skills, but you come out and you install for, is it 3 days that you're there for? And so, I mean, that's a big investment. If I don't know what I'm doing, that probably takes me 5 or 6 days, even if I do it correctly. But it's a big project. It's a lot of reading. It's a lot of knowledge that I have to learn, and you already know what you're doing, so you can quickly turn that into a gate. And anyway, it's cool knowing that for a very similar price, you are including the one-on-one conversation and an install that's there on site, which is really cool.
And because we come, as you said about the crane, because we come, we don't need to ship the gates the most produced, I would say the most complete we can, because we come, so we can mount the maximum of stuff locally. And so like we just shipped yesterday a gate to Pennsylvania, and the gate just fits in one pallet. It's 4 by 3 by 8 feet tall, and that's a safety gate, and it's just one pallet, and it's just one forklift and transport. I don't know the exact price, but I think to send to Pennsylvania from our office in Colorado, we maybe pay, I have to check exactly, but maybe $1,200. So this they deliver to the track, and then we fly, we come, as you said, but we don't need crane, because all our piece is max. I think the most weight part is maybe 70 pounds. So it's
wow.
little heavy, but any people who have a little bit of muscle, I have still small arms, but I can still install that and transport it very easy, and it makes economy at the end. So finally, you will save money on transport. You will save money on to not rent a train, and you don't have to. And this money you pay guys to come almost for the same price, but you create a really good connection. And the second thing is, when we come to tracks, we don't say we are the master of everything, but we saw so many tracks that we can advise out of only the gate. We can say, you're building on the side, it would be better if you can move here. The starter area, better to put at the opposite side. I think the first jump, it could be nice you change. Just because we saw so many tracks, it's people take or don't take the advice, but me and all my worker, we can advise to not only the gate, and or just to how to organize the facility. We know we saw so many tracks. I think one time I I was just driving like 10 hours, and I was just like, I want to see how many tracks I saw in my life. And so I start to count, try to remember, okay, this one in Ireland, and this one also, this one in Australia, and everywhere. And I think I reached almost 600 tracks. So I saw, and I don't include the like grants I came in 10 times, so it's mean 10 grants. Only temporary event I don't include. It's fixed track, and so because of course if you go to all indoors, it's changed every year. At the end, of course, you have a big number, but me, I talk about really the different tracks in different places, and. And it's just amazing. It's cool to that I've been able to see so many tracks, but it's also helpful for. I think I have an experience to share because I saw so many. Today I can go to any tracks and I can say this is good, this is not good, just because I saw so many tracks. I think I have the capacity to say, and of course it depends of the project of tracks, and some tracks want to become a really big track, and some track want to become to stay a family track, and this is totally understandable, and I like it. And we don't need all to have a super cross start hill with a big turn and huge standings, so we can adapt to everyone. And but at least I know that's the cool thing of installing gates. It's everywhere. It's just we see the sport, we see the people, we see the track atmosphere, how the sport is growing, and it's very helpful, I think, for us to develop our product, but also helpful for these tracks who will receive a little bit of advice and will maybe do some project a little bit thanks to us.
I also wanted to ask you, why are you so excited? Why are you so excited, and what makes you so passionate about bringing safety gates to tracks? Because we've talked about that, and your passion for it is not in the growth of your business. I know you well enough to know that it's not just about bringing more employees in or growing a business for the sake of selling more products, but you have a desire to bring safety gates to tracks that don't have them. Why is that?
Well, I think the main reason is just the first part of the work of the product. It's safety. It's just I've saw so many guys who can't come to me during events, mostly in USA, but even in everywhere in the world, who just show me their hand and just say, "This is my gate," and they just have one finger cut, or I didn't see like thousands of people, but I saw easily more than 100 person who have injury with a hand or arm or elbow, and it's something who touch you, and of course it's rare, and it's this person get it one time, and that was 12 years ago or 22 years ago, but it still happens. And I don't know, in the world today, we are in 2023, we can it's been even 40 years we send people in the space. So I'm like, we can at least in a sport who is accessible to the public to have a product that is safe. And for me, the safety barrel gate design is the only way to offer a really safe gate to everyone that can be a professional rider, to 4 years old kids who need to have the parents holding his bikes. He's tired, otherwise he will fall off. And with our gate or with our safety gate, and today there is different brands who do safety gate in the world. For all the company who do that, we can be sure. And I don't know, I think it's a good way that the sport can grow. When you heard, I'm sure, I don't know, but if I heard in my small city you have a BMX track that the guy broke 4 fingers because the gate doesn't drop properly, I don't want my kids or my friend to do these sports. It's too risky. So we have now, there is some company who do some different gate design, which is safer than the classic, very heavy, metal gates. But even as soon as it's flat, you can have injury. And if you are unlucky and there is a kid of 4 years old who just play the gate and another press the button without saying, and he will, even if his gate is only, I don't know, 10 pounds weight, if a small kid put his hand, his hand will be broken. And that's why I think the safety gate is good. And it brings something more. It's when you have a safety gate, a barrel gate with sticker, and it's nice. You have a graphic, and you show, I don't know, the name of the club, some sponsors who donate for the gate, or give it's an amazing way to win money when you have a barrel gates. But out of just this money or this design, it's just the city, the people who will be around, the people who are, I would say, more healthy or can help you. They will say, okay, this is professional. And it's a great way that you put the track, but the first step in a more famous professional world. And after you will reach better contact with city, with council, with, I don't know, with visitor center, or I have no idea. There is so many ways to get help. But when you have this, then you touch another public also, because at the beginning, when you do a local track, with a track, what you can do with your own way to make the track, make the turn, make the gates, you will have the same kind of people. And but if you can make a track with nice start hill and nice turn, and you will get different class of BMX rider, and these people will help you to grow. And it's a whole, for me, it's a whole thing. And that's why I think a BMX gate is a kind of I don't know how to say that, springboard, a springboard for a track to improve his reputation in the local community and increase his rider count.
I would say, based on some of the conversations that we've had, it sounds like the majority of people end up seeing growth and uptick in their rider count as a result of bringing in a gate. And my marketing background, I mean, part of me believes it's because people have now invested money into it. So now they're motivated to try and bring more people into the sport. And there's the other side of it where there's just a little bit more excitement and buzz and momentum to bring people in. And ultimately, I think that there is something to be said for adding something new into something that, just needs a new breath of energy. And sometimes the gate will do just that.
And of course, there is a lot of other stuff. I don't know, a track who don't have toilets and finally have toilets, it's something amazing, and people will be really happy, and it will bring more, I don't know, the cousin or the sister who don't want to go to the track because you have to hide somewhere. It's just, and it's just an example, and it's not necessarily the gate, but there is a lot of stuff who can improve this momentum. But I still believe, I think today a gate is one of the best investment you can get. Will really bring back to you community and more riders and safer, less problem, less time to run the track. It's I think it's one of best ratio, but after it's easy me, I can say that it's my job and I will say this, and it's to promote my product or product starting gate in average. But after I saw with my mom being track president for 10 years, the best time we grow was when we changed gates, because we installed the first one and wow, it was a new thing and it was not proper made. So we had to make another one, and then we have more riders, and then we moved to electric gate, and every time it was with the track growth, and it track grow with also other stuff on the track improvements. But I saw the gate was always a great way, and always with growing after we install gate. And I saw that in all the tracks in the world. You can call any TO with a safety gate. They will say that it helped to bring more volunteer, community, whatever.
The last thing that I want to touch on before we go and is the overarching conversation and the purpose for the BMX Breakthrough podcast is talking about the value that BMX brings to riders and the value that BMX gives. So what is, I don't know, 1, 2, maybe 3 things that are your favorite things to see BMX contribute to the lives of people?
It's hard to say, because I think at the end for me it will be sports in average. It's just sport is a great way to, to have a better mindset for your life, personal, your whole life. I will say first it's the sport, and no matter what, if you do BMX or any sport, I believe it's very important for to succeed as a parents, to when their kids are young, to learn them to enjoy sport, to enjoy effort, to enjoy to win, and to enjoy to lose. And it's great way to become I would say people with a goal in their personal life and know how to face it or fight for stuff who are difficult. And this is something I would say I love to see. And about BMX racing itself, I just think it's a sport to groups so many capacity. You need to have to become a good rider. You need to be good on everything. It's not like you just need to be crazy, or you just need to be very powerful, or you need to be you need to be a little bit of everything. And it's also very hard to be the best on everything. So it's just I like the sport because you have amazing way to grow, and you can, maybe you will be at the end a very strong rider who will have a really good first rate, but the finish line you are not the best, and you will see another guy who are not very strong but is very sneaky and very smart, and he will finish same or in front of the other one. But at the end both enjoy the sport. And I like to see that. And on another level, in USA, the program to run BMX it's mostly local race, but so you need to race, I would say, in USA. And it's not mandatory, you can just do the practice, but in average you need to race. And what I like of a lot of places out of the world is you can also only do training. And I know some kids, they never did a race and they will never do a race because they don't want to beat someone, or they don't want to be beaten. They don't care. They just want to have fun with his 3 best friend on the side and just to make some jumps. And there is kids or older person who just want to have fun. And I like the sport in this place. So mostly Europe, but you will see that in a lot of places in the world too, or South America, but where you can do BMX and you can maybe not good, but we don't care, you know. We are happy to, we just do that because we have the flow, we do jumps, we do some freestyle stuff where it's only this on the bar, you know. But anyway, just I like that. And yeah, I hope it's a sport. If the sport enter in the Olympics, I believe it's there is a reason. And we enter in Olympics already 4 years ago. So I think even the Olympic side just understand that it's a good sport. Otherwise, we will never be in the Olympics. And there is so many sports to exist, and it's still not in the Olympics. So we can thank some guys who work hard and develop and say BMX need to be in the Olympics. But we also, I believe, in average, people understand that the sport can bring a lot of good thing for, you know, for kids or older kids or guy like you finally come back after 15 20 years out of the circuit.
Exactly. Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's neat to see how far the sport has progressed and evolved, but then also being able to see some of the technology that has come into things, such as your gate being one of those that was brand new to me as of last year, and being able to see what you've done, what you and your dad were able to create. And I appreciate you being willing to take the time to have a conversation with me. And I think that what you create is a really valuable product to the sport as a whole. And I think that there are a lot of tracks that can benefit from knowing a little bit more about your story.
Thank you. And yeah, I will just thank. So I'm not alone to do this stuff. I have really important employees who just are with me since one is almost 10 years old next year, another is 7 years old. I have a partner in UK who's been 8 years we work together. I have a really good partner in Australia who handles the whole Australia market since maybe 2020. So ProStart is, I would say I control most of the stuff, but me alone, I will do nothing. I will, it will be impossible. And I want to thank all the guys who, you know, do this to help me, but also it's a great way for them also to have a nice job and travel the world and you know, feel also part of, to see that we are a little bit part of this sport development and just see on the back of you and be like, oh, 20 years, 10 years ago, the track was not like that. And it's cool to be part of this journey. And so I want to thank a lot all my employee partner and my wife also. France is a nice country. We love our country. And when I told her that I would like to come in USA, she just told me it's cool, but me, I don't want to go in USA because she had a work in France and she liked France. It's not like there is a war or there is some stuff we hate and we need to move. And so thanks to her, I've been able to come here and accomplish this project to, you know, have an office and be closer to people and just live this experience. It's amazing to be able to live in another country for a few years. So yeah, that's why I also want to thank you, my wife, even if I know she will never listen to this podcast, but it's okay. At least I did my job to thanks.
That's great. It's important to do regardless.
Exactly. And,
Yeah.
and thank you to you for and your wife India for, you know, trusting me and also helping me every day and just inviting me to this show. Bring a lot of different person of BMX racing from old school to Theo to me, who are really kind of the foreigner. But it's nice to, you know, to bring this and show to a lot of people different aspect of BMX role, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think one of the things, I keep saying, you know, the last thing, but one more thing to point out is just your your desire to have the work-life balance, which is a tough thing to do, but I think getting to work with you more in depth, and you were going through and thanking the employees and just the amount of effort that you put into making sure that they have a healthy work-life balance to be able to put in and make sure that you take care of them well, and investing into your employees, taking care of them, making sure that you take time for yourself is really neat, because there are a lot of entrepreneurs that can get lost in the chaos of doing and being busy and being stressed out because of all the things to do. And I'm constantly refreshed by the conversations that we have where you're focused on, no, I got to make sure that I take care of my team. I've got to make sure that I take care of me and my wife, and taking time for yourselves and giving credit to the other people that are making things happen when you're gone. And anyway, it's really neat. And so I just wanted to also give you credit and pass that along to you, because it's probably something you don't hear a lot, but it is noticed and appreciated. So.
Thank you, thank you. It's yeah, I try to. It's not the best every day, huh? You know, sometimes when you go on your bed, you still think of work, or the weekend you still have to you think still about the work. But in average, yeah, I understand. It's we all have just one life, and I'm still young, 31, and but I don't want to miss the important step of my life and be like, oh, if I knew I could do this, I could do this. So, and the job is important, but at the end, I just make BMX gates. I don't know if my job stop and I stop to do this, it's not the end of the world. We will not. You will still be able. People will still be able to eat. You know. So we have also to to go down and sometimes be like, okay, I do my best, and maybe it's not enough for some people, or I would like it go personally better, more, but at the end, it's just sport. So sport is fun. So the job needs to be fun also.
That's
It's
good.
the end of the discussion is if we work in a sport because it's funny and people enjoy the sport for personal enjoyment, the job needs to be about the same and not needs to be stressful and overtime and just at the end you lost the patient. Me, I do less BMX just because I'm happy to do more stuff, but I'm still passionate. And I think if I continue to push too much, maybe I will lose the patient. I'm more passionate about how the sport can grow, how I can maybe help, or just how I see some kids I know they was younger and now becoming to Olympics. I'm passionate of this, and personally I'm maybe less passionate about riding myself, but there is different way of passionate, you know. It's not only you actor of on the bike, you know. It's there is a lot of parents who are passionate of the sport but they have no idea to ride, you know, but they can be very they can be amazing for their community, and they can take care of an amazing role to, you know, to grow the tracks. So I think I come from BMX racing. I was a correct rider, never be really the best of the best, but I've been a good rider. But today I would just decide to be passionate in a different way, and it's still cool. And I hope maybe one day I will, like you, come back more riding, but only the future will tell me.
Yeah, absolutely. Would love to see you out there on the track. Excellent. Well, thank you, Quentin. Thanks for your time, and we'll talk more in the near future. And have an incredible day.
Thank you. See you.
Thank you for joining us in today's episode. It is because of people like you and our sponsors who make this whole thing possible, because they have a desire to see the sport grow. If you would like to get involved in the mission of BMX Breakthrough, you can start by going to your local track, find a way to volunteer, help out, and serve there. Or you can go to our website, bmxbreakthrough.com, in order to donate, find out about sponsorship, or learn more.